Most people think that living in Florida and living in Tampa looks like being in your car all the time. But what they get wrong is that St. Petersburg is the exception. It is not like that at all here. And so in this video, I am going over neighborhoods you should consider when it comes to prioritizing that St. Petersburg lifestyle. We're going to go over what it looks like and what to expect when it comes to buying a new construction townhome like the one we're at here. What are the bonuses that I get? What do I need to know as a relocation buyer? And then we're also going to walk through a wood frame 1920s bungalow so you know what to expect there. And then finally, I'm going to show you a 2-bedroom, well, it really could be 2 baths if you want. I'm going to show you how we do that. Block construction home in Disston Heights, not in a flood zone, with a garage for under 400. Like, this is the ideal affordable starter home in St. Petersburg. So we're going to go over all that. So we're showing a variety of stuff in this video. So I'm very excited, but without further ado, let's get to the first section. Okay, we are here in Crescent Heights, and I want to show you guys this beautiful 2-door style home. And we'll start with the exterior because I want to show you guys like the different things to expect in St. Pete. And you can notice there's no garage here. That doesn't mean there isn't a garage. The garage is in the back because this home has an alley, but the curb appeal you get with having no garage, I kind of like that. Now, all of the wood frame homes that we look at in St. Pete, the majority of them are going to be on a crawl space. And usually the foundation of that crawl space is concrete or block construction, but the rest of the home is wood frame. The home via this entrance because it's a side entrance, because I kind of want to show you guys too how like the city of St. Pete is gearing towards like this, I don't know, like multi-unit living where this would work perfectly. Like if you did convert this garage or put a unit on top of the garage, your biggest problem is going to be where does your tenants do laundry, and a lot of people want that as part of their package. So having a community area, third-party area where people can do laundry, get cleaning supplies, things like that is great if house hacking is interesting to you. Now, these also make great short-term rentals, but there are rules. So like a 1-month rental, this would make a great short to long-month rental. But yeah, it's got 2 yards. I love this home. This home's cute. What do you think, Aubrey?
I like it a lot. It's very cute.
Yeah. Okay, moving into the home. This one, guys, is a special one because even though this home was built in 1941, this home has been pretty well updated, pretty well taken care of. All the windows are new. They're all double pane. They're all energy efficient. I love the trim. I love the wood floors. The quality on these floors is really great. It's really well taken care of. These homes have a lot of character, but you got to remember too, they've been here for almost 100 years. These homes are beautiful, and the insurance on these homes isn't as bad as you would expect when you have done everything. Like the windows, for instance, because they did every window, they're going to actually get a break on their wind mitigation. What can be tricky with these older homes is it is hard to find, like really it is hard to find rooms this big, which is probably why this home was listed 17 days ago for $789,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,567 square feet. But the lot is decent size. The lot is 7,700. That being said, well taken care of, well maintained, new roof, new almost everything. That explains why this home is already under contract in just 17 days. And not that there was a bidding war or anything. Like he literally just called me and said, "Hey, just so you know, we got an offer in." Like it's not like there are a million people making offers on these spots, but when something good does come up, it usually gets snatched up pretty quickly. And so that's something important to know, because as you're touring homes here and as you're seeing homes that you like, you've got to know that a home like this is a little bit of a rarity in St. Pete, and a lot of people are looking for homes that are older, have character, but still have bigger rooms and a layout that's actually somewhat usable. Like this home's layout is actually usable. Like you can actually put a TV here. And another home we're looking at later in this video, a lot of these older homes, they only did 1 bathroom. This home actually has multiple bathrooms. It's got ensuite bathrooms. So it's a great option. Now, what I really want your guys' takeaway to be from looking at this home is you do not need new construction and you do not need only new homes. These old homes actually have a ton of character, were really well built, and honestly are built to last. Okay, so we're now in the back of the property. We're standing in the alley, and this is super, super common in St. Pete. Most of these homes, especially in Crescent Heights, are going to have an entrance from the back and an entrance from the front. Now, what's nice is if you are planning on house hacking or dividing, a lot of people do that. They'll put an additional dwelling unit in the back. You could actually put that in right on top of the garage. You're allowed 800 square feet of living space. So that's how much you can add on, and that could go right on top of the garage. That's what most people do. That way, you can still have your garage if you want it. You could also just convert the inside of the garage into an additional dwelling unit if you wanted to do that. But you have options. Now, what's nice is there's 2 parking pads here, one for you, one for your tenant, but you do have parking options even in the densest parts of the city. You're not having to deal with on-street parking. To understand what makes St. Pete walkable and how to navigate understanding the lifestyle here, really there's 2 main roads you want to situate yourself around. That's Central Avenue, which is going to be the west to east road, and then 4th Street, which is right here, which is going to be the north to south road. 4th Street, and then you also have quite a few businesses on MLK are going to have quite a few businesses. This is where Trader Joe's is. This is where Sunken Gardens is. Along here is Crescent Heights and that house that we looked at. This neighborhood is extremely walkable, but it's not necessarily walkable in the sense of like you're walking around downtown. You're walking around in and around this neighborhood. You're checking out the park, areas like this park. I have other videos where I talk about this park, but people love situating themselves around here for kind of like a different vibe city walkable lifestyle, if that makes sense. Now, in terms of the most walkable areas, potentially areas where you could really realistically rely mostly on either e-bike or public transportation, realistically, along Central Avenue, you could do that. And so in this video, we actually take Lime scooters from the Edge District, which is located right over here, and we take them all the way down to the pier, and then we take the SunRunner, which is the public transportation system here, back so that you guys can actually see what that's like. And the SunRunner actually goes along both 1st Avenue North and 1st Avenue South, so you don't actually interact with it on Central Avenue and there's no traffic. So that's really cool. Now, one thing I didn't show in the portion where we're like recording on the street in the Lime is when you go on the west side of 275 and you're kind of south of Kenwood, it is still walkable. There's still a ton of businesses, but as you continue to head further and further west, you're going to notice less and less of that. The other big point I want to bring up is the Pinellas Trail, because this is so vital to what makes Tampa Bay special. And because it starts in the Edge District along Central Avenue, I think it is super important to know about, especially when considering a decision around moving to St. Pete. Now, the townhomes we look at in this video, those are located in and around Kenwood, which Kenwood is a top spot for walkability in general, but those are going to be in Kenwood. And then the home we look at, the block construction home, that is going to be in Disston Heights. Disston Heights is located right over here, and what I'll say about Disston Heights is this is a great spot for if you are okay with not being necessarily in the most walkable neighborhood, but you're 10 to 15 minutes from everything that there is to do in St. Pete, and even like 25 minutes from everything there is to do in Tampa. So areas like Disston Heights are really awesome, but really in this video, I wanted to highlight what a block construction ranch style home would look like, because that's really what's going to be more common in the areas where you're going to be more car dependent. So neighborhoods like Disston Heights are a great place to look. Jungle Terrace, even further north, past Crescent Heights up in like Allendale, there's going to be great options there. Down in Greater Pinellas Point, Pasadena. So there's tons and tons of options, even Seminole, tons of options for if you are okay with being 10 to 15 minutes away from everything. But if you want to be walking distance from everything and be mostly in that downtown lifestyle, definitely centering yourself around Central Avenue and on the east side of 275 is vital. My name is Aaron Chan, and me and my wife Aubrey put out these videos every week on Wednesday for folks like you that are looking to move to Tampa Bay. If that's you, I'm putting my number on the screen. Feel free to call or text us anytime. We would love to hear from you and answer any questions you might have about moving to the area. Do you guys see what I mean when I say that situating yourself along Central Avenue really makes the world of difference? Like if you are truly on Central Avenue, you have plenty of options in terms of lifestyle, in terms of walkability, in terms of stuff nearby. There is restaurant after restaurant. There is new thing to do after new thing to do. Over here now, we've got brand new construction condos up here. One thing I want you guys to really notice is as we move towards, now we're very much not in the Edge District. We are very much in downtown St. Pete. This is what it looks like. This is what to expect when it comes to downtown St. Pete. Okay, here we're very much right in the downtown area of St. Pete. Oh, Aubrey's gonna go ahead of me here. Oh, bye Aubrey. All right guys, so now we're gonna go up here to the end of downtown. So we're at the end of Central Avenue. So what does that look like? What does the end of Central Avenue truly consist of? You guys have heard me talk a lot about Central Avenue for us to get to the very end of it, but where do you go from here? So from here, really, we wanna go left. Finally, we got the entrance to the pier up here on the right.
All right, so me and Aaron just took the Lime scooters from the end of the Edge District all the way to the pier, and that was a lot of fun. And now we're gonna walk over to the SunRunner. We're close to Vinoy Park and the pier, so we'll show you where you can hop on the SunRunner. But the nice thing about the Edge District is there's really a lot of options when it comes to transportation. You know, you can go on the bike, you can go on the Lime scooters, you can go on a car, walking, you know, there's just all these options that you really can do. And there's just a lot of stuff to do down here. It's really a lot of fun.
Just a lot that hugs Beach Drive.
Yeah.
Like if you look to
There's,
the left here and to the right here.
yeah, there's a lot
Beach Drive.
on Beach Drive right here. There's a lot of restaurants. We're like midday on Monday and there's still quite a bit of people over here. So it's definitely a really fun spot to be around. Right, so I'm here at First and Second, and right behind me is where you can expect a lot of nightlife. Right now it's a little bit dead because it's during the daytime, but there's still a lot of people walking around. But at night this place really lights up. There's just a lot of things to do over here. A lot of places open up at night. There's a lot of restaurants. It's just a really cool place to be around, especially if you like, you know, the nightlife kind of lifestyle.
Okay, big moment for us, but we're gonna do the SunRunner. We've never ever tried any public transportation in Tampa Bay, but I think if I'm gonna talk about this spot, we should definitely get on it and show you guys what it's like, because I think it's crazy for us to suggest this without having ever gotten on it. And like, I want to see how convenient it is. How easy is it? How, you know, is it a good option for people or not? And so we're gonna hop on and we'll show you what it's like to ride the SunRunner from downtown St. Pete back to the Edge District. So over here you guys can really see the routes and kind of what to expect when it comes to waiting for the SunRunner. I love that it actually tells you that the next SunRunner arrives in 7 minutes. Bus stop itself is really nice. All right, here it comes. Here she is, the SunRunner. So we'll hop on it, tell you what it's like, tell you guys what to expect.
SunRunner St. Pete Beach, thank you for riding the SunRunner.
I love these bike things.
You gotta do a different card, I think. Okay. There we go.
Okay, so as we're on the SunRunner, one thing that I do think is cool is these bike racks that they have here where you can literally just come in and put your bike. And so they really do make it convenient with just the general lifestyle here in St. Petersburg and what people are looking for when it comes to living in St. Pete. I think you're good. Okay, so we just got off the SunRunner. It took us like maybe 5 minutes, would you say, Aubrey?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes to get back to the Edge District, super quick. They run every 15 minutes. Honestly, guys, I'm really impressed with how efficient, how clean, how nice that was. And I honestly, if I lived in the Edge District, I would take advantage of that for sure, because the fact that you can literally park your bike on the bus just makes it so convenient with the type of lifestyle people are looking for when it comes to living in St. Pete. So we're in Disston Heights, and really this spot is going to be for the folks that don't mind having to drive everywhere. There's not a walkable area in the sense of like where we were. You don't have like the brick paved streets. You don't, I mean, there's nothing nearby to walk to. But the reason I want to highlight this spot is because the value you get in Disston Heights. This is the highest point in all of St. Pete. So in terms of insurance, in terms of being 10 minutes from the beach, 10 minutes from downtown, in terms of being in an area that has just, I think, prices here have done really, really well over time. And that's because a lot of these homes, what I've noticed, are block construction homes, but a good amount of them haven't been updated recently or something like that, or they still look very dated. But that being said, they're not bad opportunities. They are actually great opportunities. Like, look at the size of this yard. You can fully have a garage. You have a full backyard. You have block construction homes. So you're not dealing with like wood frame. And there's just a lot more peace of mind when buying a block construction home, because this is just solid, you know? So if you're worried about hurricanes, if you want to tear down a wall, if you need to do things like that, it's just a lot easier, because when it's block exterior construction and concrete slab, there's just way less worries. You don't have to worry about the subfloor. You don't have to worry about massive termite damage. You don't have to worry about water intrusion as much. But that being said, you still do need to stay on top of because block is still porous, so the water will still go through. But all right, main things I want to highlight here is I know that this home is not going to necessarily appeal to most people. What really I'm going to need you guys to do with this home is to have a bit of vision, because if you're someone that is looking for maximum value, if you're looking for a place that is going to be a good long-term investment, if you're looking at a good first-time home buyer property, if you're looking at a good rental property, these are very durable. I love these block construction homes because of their durability, but the layouts are funkier. That being said, this home floor plan and layout is super common throughout just all of Pinellas County. And so you can get inspired to make it work. And so one thing that I've seen people do here specifically is they will move the fridge over here, they will cut out the wall there and make this more of an open, so that way you can actually walk to the kitchen from the bedrooms. It does make it feel a lot more open. I don't know if you remember, Aubrey, but Melinda did that. And so then she had her island right here, and it just opened it up a lot more. It made it easier to put the TV. It made it easier to optimize the layout. But yeah. Now, the other thing I want to mention, and this is a tough thing in Disston Heights, is this is the most common layout, I would say, in Disston Heights for under 400,000, and it's gonna, even under 500,000, it's the two bedroom, one bath combo. That was almost every single home they built in the 1950s. Now the problem is, a lot of people realize that nobody wants a one bath house. Nobody wants to do that. Aubrey, you did not want that. That's part of the reason we didn't move to a lot of the homes we looked at, or we didn't get a lot of the homes, is because for Aubrey specifically, having a second bathroom was super important. And I get it, because having one bathroom, that's like a bathroom you got to keep clean. If you have a lot of guests, if you like to entertain, that's just a pain in the butt. Or if you are even like a semi-big family, like 3 people, 4 people, just sharing one bathroom is just a pain. So what a lot of people will do is they will put the second bathroom in the garage. Now it's nice and chill in here right now, but during the summer, if this bathroom is not air conditioned, it's like, man, who wants to take a dump out here in a hot insulated garage? Nobody. And so I have seen people do it well, where they've actually finished, they almost like have the garage end here, move that door here, and then have this like set up as a real second bathroom. And I think that's nice, but I've also seen people where they literally just wall it in, leave the ceiling open, and just tap right into the plumbing, throw a toilet in, keep that sink like that. And I'm like, that is not a second bathroom. So things to keep in mind when buying homes in Disston Heights is it can be really hard to find 2-bathroom homes. And that is something I've found that people have to compromise on. But the nice thing is, it is not impossible to add a bathroom later. And with these properties, where you're going for value, you do have to make a lot of compromises. So, okay, the other thing that I really love about Disston Heights, United Central, Jungle Terrace, and a lot of the spots in St. Pete, kind of further out from downtown, is, man, you get a lot for the value. Like, this home is $379K. It is around 1,100 square feet, and it has a massive front and backyard, block construction, block foundation, gutters all around, extended lanai. This is a really good option, fenced in, good, solid home. We're here at our stop, which is the Towns at Union by David Weekley. And this is right off the Edge District, so we'll show you a bit of what it's like to live here, and then also what to expect when it comes to buying a new construction townhome in St. Pete in a walkable area. One thing I want you guys to know here is on your front door, you do have this little outdoor patio area. It is paved, it is nice, and here's where where a condo option is gonna, a townhome option is gonna be a lot different than a single family home. The association, which is $300 a month, that includes your sewer, trash, your water, and it includes all the maintenance for the exterior of the building. So the roof, the vinyl siding, the paint, the landscaping out here. The only portion you are responsible for is the portion within the fenced area. All of this is maintained by the association for $300 a month. So with that being said, because they maintain the exterior, they are also taking care of the insurance. So if you're worried about insurance, your insurance is gonna be extremely low on these options. Really, it's gonna be more or less the same as renter's insurance, because you're really just insuring the contents within the home, and we're not in a flood zone here. It's a great option for just optimizing for cost of living in general. So there's a lot of pros to an option like this. Let's get on inside so you guys can see what David Weekley is about. And as we're going through this walkthrough, I'm just gonna talk about the different things that I would point out. Starting with down here, one thing I love about the floor plan is they actually put a full bedroom downstairs, which is huge, because if you have older family members or stairs are not your thing, or you have people that are gonna have trouble with stairs, having an option downstairs is vital. And we see this not just in like townhomes, we see this in single family homes all across, especially with the rise of multi-generational living being a thing. Having a bedroom on the ground floor is essential, because otherwise you're having to deal with stairs. And for some people, that's a deal breaker. Now, things I love about David Weekley is the utilization of a lot of windows. They use a lot more windows, bigger windows, higher door frames. Nice thing about these townhomes is, so it's different from like if you were to buy David Weekley and Parish, what they do here is everything is picked out for you. So you don't really get a choice in changing or tweaking anything prior to close. Everything you want to change about this, you'd have to do after close. But that being said, almost no builders will finish the garage floor like this. And so the home you're actually getting, and this is one of the ones that's available. So this one is $634,990. It is a 3-bath, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath home, 2-car garage, 1,952 square feet. And they have applied a promo to this where if you're paying cash, you get $30,000 off. Or if you're financing, you can actually lock in a much lower rate, or potentially get some of your closing costs covered. And that's something that only new builders do. Okay, so now in these townhomes, you're gonna have a block on the exterior, and then the whole second floor and up is gonna be wood frame. I was talking to her about like the kitchen, because in the model, they had the cabinets go all the way to the top. And so I was like, okay, so since you can't pick what comes in the home, you can't change the floors, like as a whole, what can you expect from all these models? And so she said this one is a good representation of what a lot of the homes look like. They do have different floor plans, different layouts, but for the most part, the base of what you're getting with David Weekley is really nice. You get the higher ceilings, you get the nicer counters, you have the gourmet kitchen, gas range. Man, this is spacious. This is a wide living room though. As we're going towards it, Fifth Avenue is right over there, which is a busy road. You can probably see it. Now, because these windows are the double pane, energy efficient, sound optimized windows, you're not hearing that road. In a lot of the older 1920s, 1940s bungalows, and just the standard homes around here in St. Pete that are older, you're definitely hearing that, because the windows are probably older and the home itself, it's just not as new. All right, well, that's pretty much all we have for today. If you guys are interested in learning more about the lifestyle in St. Pete and what it looks like to actually live downtown, to take things like the public transportation. We actually rode the public transportation for the first time. If you're interested in more new construction options that are going to be more than just townhomes, really, unless your plan is to go custom, the best options are going to be in Parish. And so we have another video about that. So definitely check that out as well. But overall, hope this was helpful. And yeah, again, we put out these videos every week on Wednesday. And if you found this helpful, feel free to reach out to us anytime. We'd love to answer any questions or anything we can do at all. to help you with your relocation journey.